let me remind you that this world sucks. If you haven't even turned on your television set or your computer lately, the eclipse was fun, but now we're back to it. Damn near every ruler who has contributed to the management and improvement of this planet has done the opposite. These sober minds, so they claim, have ushered in for us a permanent debt spiral which is impossible to pay off, so they tell us to pay it down, which is a useless fool's errand, and an admission of being owned and under control. And then you get your Alberta-based oil fires or your oil-based Alberta fires and your oil-based Texas flood devastation with floating fire ants and underwater old folks' homes flooded with predictable floods, and the debt ceiling and the fiscal cliff, and we're all going to die from Ebola. Remember that? We shouldn't even be here right now from these guys. And increasing tax debts with diminishing returns of service and cutbacks on all kinds of needs, unless they are military invasion needs. Among the crumbling at-home infrastructure that we can't seem to afford, especially while there's a war going on. Always. Somewhere. So let's make sure we promote jobs for General Dynamics of London, Ontario, and some other military purveyor in Newmarket, and they're in Montreal, and they manufacture weapons of war. And they're all sober too. They don't use cannabis. No. They're straight thinking people. You know, while we're being morally shat upon and cast into a negative light by these people, this is what they're doing. So, for example, here are some moral people, all right? Now, when this story came out, I started to get involved with pushing back on it. General Dynamics Canada wins a $10 billion deal with Saudi Arabia. This is from 2014. Harper was still in power. That was the conservative plan. We were all upset about it. And then when Justin Trudeau and his Liberals, on the other side of the political spectrum, came in, they just kept this deal going, and anybody complaining about it was hit with the nonsensical dirge, jobs. That's all it's about. Here's this article from 14. General Dynamics wins $10 billion deal with Saudi Arabia. The federal government has helped secure a $10 billion U.S. deal for a Canadian company, General Dynamics, London, Ontario. Give them a call. To sell armored vehicles to Saudi Arabia, a country widely condemned for its human rights abuses. So that's in the CBC, which is an advertising medium and a news purveyor that gets government money. So they can't say they didn't hear about this. The deal was announced back in February 14, isn't that nice? Valentine's Day, by International Trade Minister Ed Fast. And he's gone fast now because they got turned over. At the London, Ontario plant of General Dynamics Land System. And the big deal was they're going to have a $10 billion deal. It's jobs. It's really important. And when the anti-war people that Nixon tried to flatten with the war on drugs, such as myself and other people of color who they decided were also going to get in trouble, or anybody that was pushing back on procuring military arms for Saudi Arabia so they could do horrible things, and they have, was met with the cry of, well, jobs, and you're not being very patriotic, and we need to help the economy grow and grow and grow. And I don't know why the economy has to keep growing and growing and growing, because when my Metastases was doing that, it was bad fucking news. But you get the point. These are the people who don't partake of cannabis making these decisions. So you get the point. But thankfully here, you don't get the point. You don't get the point of the sword coming down on the necks of the people that the Saudi military hardware customers that we sold shit to use to oppress and to decapitate and to create a big collection of severed heads that actually outstrips ISIS by comparison. It's a business deal, though. That's what's more important. But now that we have evidence that this has been used, and there has been footage, the Minister of Trade, whatever the hell she does, Chrystia Freeland, they're having an inquiry. How could these people in Saudi Arabia do these things with this equipment we sold them? This will not stand. Let's spend a shitload more money to run out and figure out why that happened when we had people telling us at the very day one that we shouldn't be doing this. But I hope that's covered in the $10 billion because we're going to have to pay for it. That's what's going on with these people. These are all results of the cannabis-free mind. the selling off of real estate assets and our healthcare system we all once paid for, but now billionaires buy and lease back at a profit, while manipulating the threat of a nuclear war during another civil war triggered by deliberately engineered racial riots. And for the Liberal government of Canada, what did we most have that everyone's talking about now? A puff piece on the cover of the Rolling Stone for Justin's crafted image maintenance. That's the only thing that was on there, rather than the truth.